Thanks for tuning in to Season 2 of the Hollow Points Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And what do we do, Coach?
We accept the challenge of providing dangerous, thought provoking, and sometimes controversial insights into life's most common topics.
Get your mind right. Yeah. Get your mind right.
Let's change the narrative then. Instead of because, and I know you big on this. You big on the what is the financial infidelity and all that other stuff. So let's go with the effort quotient. So if it's 50-50 effort, or if it's 90-10 effort. Let me just start with the 90-10 effort. I am of the belief that the majority of women, y'all can tell me where I'm wrong, stop me when I'm lying. The majority of women want to retire young and sit back and let things be provided to them and for them because they are looked at as a trophy for this guy, a conquest that he can brag to his friends and this and that, and he just dotes over her and shells out vacations and jewelry and why do you think wedding rings are so big? Why do you think women get excited about, push to start vehicles and all this other stuff? That's because the dude has it's way less important to me for a woman to say, look at what I did for myself and here you are and be Oprah, than look at what he did for me and be Jeff Bezos' ex-wife.
I don't I don't think women look at men as mm, let me rewind it.
Mm-hmm,
Some young women younger than me may look at men as a retirement deal package
mm-hmm,
or whatever.
mm-hmm,
Um and that's because of what they see on social media.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, they just want to go on trips. They want to
Yeah.
shop and they want to look cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not realistic though. They not realistically thinking. Yeah, if even if you get married and he's supporting you financially and you just you're gonna be a homemaker. They don't even know what all that entails.
Mm-hmm.
They see it on TV and they think, oh, okay, I cook, I make lunch, pick up the kids from school, and that's it. And then I can do whatever I want to do. That's TV. They don't understand. It's more to it than that.
Whose
If I
responsibility
had
is it to teach them that it's more to it than that, though? Real talk.
what is the what?
Whose responsibility is to teach them that it's more to it than that? Both of y'all got daughters in their 20s. When y'all daughters come to y'all and say, hey, I got a little boo thing, a little guy, what's the first question you ask?
Who is his people? Me.
Okay.
Hmm.
I want to know
Where
about
are
him.
you
I'm like,
living? What's his
who
line?
who is
When
mama?
I'm gonna
What's
see
his
him? Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
who is mama? Who is daddy? How I want to know the age difference between him and her.
Mhm.
I want to know where they met. I want to know and I'm not big on social media at all, but I'm gonna damn sure go look up his
Mhm.
because you can find a lot out about a person by scrolling through their social media.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's how I would what I
It's
would do.
it's our responsibility as mothers when you have daughters to teach them that, but you can only teach them from what you know. So if like I have an auntie that had God rest her soul, but she had never worked a day in her life,
Mhm.
and she had girls,
Mhm.
and she can't she can't teach them that part of going out in the world and handling a job and coming home and taking care of home. She gonna tell them the part about taking care of home and taking care of the kids. And she was a single mom for a minute. She just lived off the system or whatever. And
Mhm.
that part she can teach. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It just depends on who your teacher is. So I don't have sons, but if I had sons and my son came to me
Mhm.
or as his mom, I'm going to teach him what to look for if he comes to me and talks to me about a certain girl. I'm going to ask questions, but the question's going to be a little bit different. And when I see her, I'm going to scan her up and down because if I know what he's looking for and what I taught him, I should be able to see that in her. if it's not in her, then I should let him know what this ain't what you're looking for.
It's
Yeah,
only
we
one
all
person that
have
we
that. We
go
all
ahead.
have that responsibility to teach either your role model, aunt, uncle, cousin, whatever, to teach people that the Hollywood marriages and all that stuff is not an example of what you should be trying to get to. It should be somebody in real life,
Hmm.
and then when you meet somebody, teaching them how to get their skills together, to their recruiting skills together, because
But what if they don't have? What if you're not that example? Because
that example for them.
I know a lot of single mothers
Mm-hmm.
that's not married,
Mm-hmm.
may not be in a stable relationship at the moment, but in a
Mm-hmm.
relationship and it ain't stable, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The girls that they're raising,
Hmm.
they don't have that example
Mm-hmm.
of what a marriage should be. All they got is what they see from TV, or maybe what their mother has told them what they should be doing and what the husband should be doing. And then that's when you get out there and you meet somebody that says, I see it on social media all the time. A man need to take care 100%, take care of everything. And whenever I see a post like that, I just be like, you ignorant. And you sound ignorant, but okay. But you actually got some people out there that think that, and it's probably because of the dynamic of the household they were brought up in. If they seen their mother struggling all the time and say, well, shoot. Some of them say, hey, I'm going to make sure I take care of myself and I ain't got to depend on nobody. And then some look at it, they flip it around and say, you know what? I'm going to make sure I find me somebody to take care of me so I won't have to be like this.
So
You're going to get one or the other.
Yeah,
let me
yeah.
say this though, and I'm gonna start with this. Only one of us on this call has sons, and so I think it's not as simple as telling your son, look out for this, look out for that, because your young son is meeting a young lady and she hasn't even found herself yet. So it's hard to narrow in on who she's going to be, especially if you got to use her mama as the denominator, because like you said, her mama might have some missteps or some situations that she doesn't necessarily have to inherit. We don't have to be our parents. A lot of times we do get caught up in cycles. We do get caught up in cycles and we start realizing, damn, I did a lot of stuff like my folks did. And I'm turning to be like them because of example. But it's tough. Would it be tough having sons? Is it tough for you, bro, having sons and trying to tell them what to look for and what not to look for? Because the last thing I would think, and I need you to educate me on this, if you got a son or for your sons and they say they got this little chick and you say, okay, tell me about her, how much do you want for her to be independent and a go-getter and driven and all this so that way it could be two alphas?
She's not going to be. I mean, you have to allow for the growing period in people's lives.
Mhm.
You you gotta. It is difficult, like you're saying, but you gotta still look for the red flags.
Mhm.
So you gotta look for a person who's willing to learn, who's willing to grow. They don't have to be independent, but they have to be striving toward independence. Like they can't be sitting and crying because you won't buy them a Michael Kors purse or whatever, or what's a hot purse? I don't even know.
Right, right.
Uh, but
So
It ain't
let me
Michael
ask you
Kors.
this.
okay, my
Right. Let me
bad.
ask you
Y'all
this.
got too much money.
So should you at a certain age, should you still be looking for somebody that's finding themselves and growing?
You
You
should always
have
be
to.
growing. You should
You
always be
you you
growing. Yep.
have to look. Everybody's looking for themselves at
Hmm.
in the teenage years,
Hmm.
Okay, you said
but
the teenage years. That's why I said
oh
what age. That's why I said what age, because at a certain age, you should, yeah, everybody's gonna grow and maybe change, but at a certain age, you shouldn't still be
yeah,
trying to find yourself.
yeah. So my oldest made me proud. He had a girlfriend, and he recognized on his own, but maybe it's through some stuff that I taught him, that his girlfriend, that everything he told her that was his pet peeves and got on his nerves, when she wanted attention, she would do that.
Hmm.
Mm,
So he recognized that and he cut it off because that is somebody he wouldn't want. That's a red flag.
Right.
right.
That's not even trying. So look for things like that. You can't look for
Hmm.
somebody who's like, if a woman in her teens is not looking for a dude to pay all her bills, hopefully, or a dude is not looking for a woman who is gonna help him with 50-50 or cook meals like his grandma because that takes time.
Mhm.
If she's willing to learn how to cook a dish here and there and that's something the dude likes, then those are the traits that you look for. You can't look for a complete woman because you're gonna fail because it takes time. And like women can't look for a complete man.
Let me ask y'all this though, because he and I both have been in relationships where the young lady was close with her mom, and her mom was a horrible example of somebody in a relationship. Okay, yet because she respected and was close with her mom, she would let her
Hold to the
mom
Boko shot.
she would let her mom filter in advice on our shit when she didn't have nothing going on for herself. What would y'all say to them women who have those type of dynamics where your relationship with your mama, you don't your I'm sorry, the mama relationship that she had with dudes you don't respect, yet you coming to me talking to me about advice your mama gave you. Why would a woman
That
do
they,
that?
I don't know why, but that's who they need to go stay with.
Oh damn.
Because
Dang.
that doesn't make sense to me.
Do you
But
know
You
that's
how
your
you grew
hero.
up you grew up all your life. How is that your hero and your hero constantly failing? That
Dang, that's
can't
a
be your
failure.
hero.
explain
Either
that letter?
either
Explain
either
that.
it
Give
can't
give
be
this
your
give this
hero,
woman
or
some game.
you just don't want to disappoint your mom by doing better than her.
Ooh.
You
Ooh.
so you want to stay? Oh, you want to fail worse? Okay.
Well, not even worse.
Want to be
You're
there with her.
scared. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're scared to do any better because you know the type of mom that you got, and she ain't gonna be happy for you. And you know what? It's some situations out there. Um, you just she's gonna complain. She's gonna nitpick and say, "Ooh, if I was you, I would do this," and you do it, even though you're not happy doing it. You happy in your relationship, but she feeding you this, and you act on what she's telling you to act on, and you're just doing it because that's my mama, and I don't want to disappoint her. And I know if I run off and get married and live my happy life, she's gonna be disgusted and probably make my life miserable. So
But she should want that for you. She
yeah,
should
of
want
course.
you to succeed.
That's
So
just
you
I,
saying
I
the mama's really a hater?
Rival.
very much
Mama's a
so.
rival.
I exactly. I know a lot of women that children are following in their footsteps when it comes to making wrong decisions, but you as a mother don't have the heart to tell them how you screwed up and what it did for you, because you don't want to make your life look like it was effed up.
Doing
But
your kid a disservice. Yeah.
if you know me and you know my children will tell you I've told them my mistakes because I don't want you to make them. I'm not gonna hide them from you. I'm not gonna act like uh, you know I was the best teenager and I didn't sneak out of windows and do things like that. No, I'm going to tell you what I did. I'm going to tell you how I got in trouble and what happened, what the consequences was, because I don't want you to make the same mistakes. And thankfully, I had my first child at 20. Uh, this year, my middle child will be 21. So neither one of them have kids. So okay, well, good. But I know women that had children at 15, 16, or whatever, and they don't want to be hard on their girls. So then it repeats itself, and then you don't want to say, well, I made a mistake at 15, so don't be like me. You don't never want to say that. They don't say that, so then their children end up repeating the same mistake.
But that's because kids are sensitive. And if you say you made a mistake, they hear I'm a mistake. That's what they hear. When you say you made a mistake and had a kid too early, they hear I'm that kid, therefore I'm the mistake. Let
Nah,
me ask you
you
this though.
nah, you
Go
it's
ahead.
how you say it to your children.
Okay.
It's how you say it to their child, how you explain it to them. You got to let them know the act was a mistake.
Let me go to
It's how
letter.
you talk to
Yeah.
them.
Let me go to letter though. Okay. So the question is, how can I meet your needs? Who should be asking that question? The man or the woman?
Both in a real relationship. Both. I want to be able to facilitate your needs as well as you facilitate mine. Um, so yeah, I think they both should ask that question. Nothing should, like I said, if you're talking about this 90/20, I mean this 90/10. I'm sorry, I got my math all wrong, the 90/10, then He's facilitating financial, but relationships are so much more than financial.
Yep.
Let me say this. So for the woman that's on this call, which is two of y'all, that didn't ever talk to a dude that was too old for them. Let me just go ahead and put it out here. I'm assuming both of y'all talked to somebody that was too old for y'all. Yes.
Yes,
Absolutely, I did.
I
And that
did too.
wasn't a 90-10 situation.
Uh,
Nope.
no,
What?
no,
So y'all had as
no.
much as an old nigga when y'all was young. Y'all was given as much to
I
the
believe
I'm
relationship.
gonna
them
tell you. I'm gonna tell
100% of
you
the
this.
time. I believe them. Most of the dudes coming up to the school in the cutlass didn't work.
Uh-oh, watch out
What?
now.
Watch
Watch
Hold
out.
out
on.
now. It sounds like you talking about
What's
me.
so
It
funny? No,
sounds
that
like you talking about me.
no. And I was gonna say you must know my story too because I did have a
No,
older
no.
guy that
I was
I
the
dated
dude
in
disappointed
school.
because all the women went to the dudes coming up in the cutlasses. I was that dude.
That was
I
the
had a
pedophile
boyfriend that had a
vehicle.
cutlass, but
Yes,
he
that's vehicle
it
of
was a
choice.
90. It I'm gonna say he benefited the most because I was too young to go anywhere and do anything.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm. Hmm. So he
mhm.
he had a measure of control not only because his age helped him have that level of maturity, but a lot of women tell themselves that an older guy is automatically a more mature guy. But it's funny because a young woman will tell you that if you 18, a young 18-year-old woman, black woman, will tell you that a 21 to 25-year-old black man is mature. But then as soon as she get 28, anybody under 30 ain't mature enough. Like, what the hell happened?
Oh my goodness, I don't know with that one. It depends on what all she done been through.
Oh, okay.
Maybe,
Okay.
yeah.
And what say you, Letter?
I agree. I think it just depends on what what she's been through and like really what you're looking for in a relationship. Like I at one time I was young, I really young, probably 16, 17, probably 17. And this guy that I, like I said, dealing with, we weren't in a relationship, because he was like 27 years old. So
Because
I
of the law.
mean,
Yeah,
Oh,
because of the law.
right,
Yeah,
right.
was his
gotta
name
not
Robert
testify
Kelly?
against you. We can't fall in a
No,
relationship.
but
Without a written consent.
I mean, it started with an R, but it wasn't tails. Um, so wouldn't say there wasn't a benefit for me or a benefit for him because I mean, I couldn't be seen with you
So y'all
anywhere.
did something
Right,
for no
right.
for a zero benefit sum. Come on now. Come on.
No,
There
I
wasn't
didn't
no
say
profit.
that,
You just said
but
there
I
wasn't a
said
benefit for me or a benefit for him. That's what I heard.
that's true. That it really wasn't a benefit because, like I said, we didn't really go and do stuff together. Like I don't even know why he was trying to talk to me,
Oh,
and
I
I
do.
don't. I can't,
Oh, I can
for
tell
the
you.
life of.
If you haven't
Oh,
figured it
tell
out
me,
yet, I can
please,
tell
sir.
you.
I know
Please,
why.
why? Come on, give it to me. Why? Why was a grown ass man at the age of 27 trying to talk to like a 17? Why? Why?
Because
Tell me.
he had a lot of
Yeah.
pedophilia in his spirit, and he was trying to get him some young trim.
His
Oh, okay.
mind was not mature enough for people on his level. He
No, at
needed
his age.
someone,
Mhm.
yeah, he needed someone whose mind he could try to form and pretend like he's older
Yeah.
or like he's a man, but he
Yeah.
really was still a boy. And it's
Yes.
probably the cutlass in his mama name.
Oh, well, it might have been, but here's the situation. I think even at that age, what I couldn't be manipulated at that age either.
He didn't know that. He knew your age, and he knew you
Yeah.
let him come pick you up. You let him come pick you up. Therefore, there's
Did you know
always
you
a
had a
chance.
daddy?
Right.
Right. You
I
got a
Exactly.
did.
daddy to help.
I did.
Right. So yeah, he was trying to step in, slide in. Was now well, your age gap wasn't like that, was it, Sean?
Let's see. What was I 15?
Oh,
And
okay,
he
we
was.
gotta stop this. Let's stop.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Golly. So y'all don't wait a second. I guarantee y'all not telling y'all daughters. It was a dude that was 37 years older than me, like Al Pacino.
don't know,
And I
37
was
years
letting him
old.
holler at me because Al Pacino. Well, how old is Al Pacino? Al Pacino just had a baby with a 30-year-old. He 82.
And yes, absolutely. And she's yeah, ridiculous.
Why are women allowing for this?
Oh, I can
Why
tell
is
you why
why
she
is Jay
allowed for
Z
That's
that.
why
that.
Let me
is
tell
That's
you
Jay
not.
Z
something.
That's
able to
you.
date Beyonce and she's
You
17?
you
Why are
should
y'all
answer.
allowing for
We
this?
told you
That's.
Hollywood stuff don't count.
Okay, got you. I'm sorry. I
Hmm.
digress. I
But that's
re-
still part of their retirement plan. That's just like what's her name, Drea Michelle,
mm,
Yeah,
dating
Drea.
that Drea,
mhm.
dating that basketball. That's that retirement plan. She just had a baby by the basketball, 22-year-old or something like that, and I think she's 39.
Mhm.
So I said some of them is looking for a retirement package, and that's what they do.
Is this all a mute point? And does all this go away if we take marriage off the table as a whole? If we just stop getting married? If people stop getting married, is there any problems at this point? Because when people cheat on people, the first thing you ask is, was they married? Because if they wasn't married, it acts like it don't count. When people talk about money and finance and all that, it's cool to have separate accounts because we're not married. So is the complexity in this marriage? And let me explain why before y'all answer. Just think about this. There is no leader of a major religion that was in a monogamous marriage. Jesus wasn't married, Buddha wasn't married, Muhammad had many wives. You get what I'm saying? Solomon, the wisest man in the Bible, had 500 wives. No pivotal figure in a religious capacity had a monogamous marriage. So if the people that you look up to and that guide you wasn't in monogamous marriages, why the hell should we be in monogamous marriages? Why should marriage still even exist?
What
Where
is
you
the
want to
ben-
go to first? Yeah, yeah. 'Cause-
so? What do
go
you
ahead.
think the benefit of being married?
Exactly.
It's just is
Exactly.
you're saying it's just a piece of paper.
Hmm.
I think it's more than just a piece of paper.
Tell
It's
me
a
what you think now.
commitment. It's a
Tell me what you
commitment
think.
to each other. You're
Y'all
making a
can't do that without
commitment
the
to each
paperwork.
other.
Y'all can't do that without paperwork. Is what you're telling me.
Nah, because the
So
paperwork,
Adam,
my name is going to change on that paperwork. I am now Miss So and so, so and so.
you
Dash.
That's
don't
who I
What
am,
honor
and
about
you
hyphenated? What
don't
everybody's
about
going to
honor
hyphenated
see me.
wives?
you don't
Hmm.
honor Adam and Eve. You don't honor their marriage.
Do what?
You don't honor Adam and Eve's marriage.
That's probably a whole nother part. Cause yeah, um,
Okay,
nah.
so at what point was the commitment between the man, woman, and God just not enough? It had to be through the state.
Because of the
The
legal opportunities that women were not afforded for home ownership, property ownership,
Created
livestock. Go ahead.
created by
created by
who?
man,
Created by who? By men.
man.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Because they wanted the woman to need the man. If a woman's husband died and she had a whole property and all of his inheritance, then she was good. But they wanted to take that from her. I'm
But that's
sorry.
why
Go
women
ahead.
was
Go ahead,
promoted to
Lex.
have
Or
boys.
or
Go ahead, Lex.
or or it could have been created by a man alongside with a woman. Because I'm thinking about the clip that you sent me a while back that said that comedian said that he was survived by his wife.
Hmm.
Everybody that died is always survived by the wife.
Hmm.
So the thing with that is if he dies, then his wife gets everything she can take. She can continue to take care of the family and all of the other assets. I mean, if you're not married, if you're living with somebody for 30 plus years, 35 years, 40 years, you created a family with this woman and you leave, you die.
Hmm.
What does this woman get?
Have you seen that
She
before?
don't have your last name.
Have you
I
seen that
mean,
before where she can't make
I've
decisions at the
seen that
hospital?
before.
Okay. Give me that.
I've
yep,
seen that
Give me
before
that scenario.
can't do
where
none of that.
I know a situation. I mean, it just recently happened within the last 5 years. This lady had been dating this man for 30 plus years. He had kids from a previous marriage, but him and her had been dating, had started a business together, did different things. They really lived like they were a couple.
Mm,
And as soon as he died, they kicked her out the house.
mm,
Um, so when you say the benefits of being married is I think it can benefit both
mm,
because as you accumulate things together, that is y'all stuff.
right.
Like if something were to happen to, my husband, his mom or his daughter, that's not my daughter, they can't kick me out of nothing. They can't take a car, they can't take a house, they can't take it. And so I think when you look at it from what's the benefit is to be able to um get stuff together and also be able to keep those things when that person is gone.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because I'm sure we've all heard of those situations where they weren't married, but they was together for a long time. Most people didn't even know they wasn't married. And soon as he died, boom, or as soon as she died, his kids swoop in, lock you out. All
Mm-hmm.
that can
Mm-hmm.
happen when you're not
Mm-hmm.
married to this person and you just went into his life that was established. Um, and nothing is y'all's, everything is his.
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you look at it like that, that could be for him or her, because there's some situation where the woman is the breadwinner or, makes the most or has the most, but you don't want somebody to just be able to come in and take your stuff and you can't, and you have no claim to nothing. Like you didn't put
So,
all the furniture in the house. You done bought every piece of furniture, curtain, pot, pan, uh, plant, and because it wasn't your house,
mhm.
you don't have
You
a leg
gotta
to
go.
stand on.
Yep, you
so,
gotta
so,
go.
but what I'm hearing you say is, in lieu of being married, I could just sit down and write a good, clear will, and that would take care of this problem.
No,
Oh,
that's not what. No. How is a will going to? You're not going to get anything. So you telling? So he needs to have a will to say if something happened to me, this is her furniture. That's
yeah,
not
that's the will's work.
that makes sense. But how many out of all the people how many people, Chris, have wills?
That's what I'm saying. If we change the dynamic of instead of us getting married, how about I just write a solid will because we done made it 5 years, 6 years, or whatever. Because I think marriage comes with its own auspices of when you marry somebody, what you asking them to be is your counselor, your private dancer, your financier, your therapist. You asking so much from one person to be that in your life that it just crushes. We are not built to hold on that type of weight, which is why marriages, don't really sustain themselves in the modern times, is because it's a lot going on in this world, and there's a lot to put on that other person to be all that for that guy. You know what I'm
so
saying?
you
Go
so
ahead.
you saying so you're saying if they're not married, they shouldn't even expect none of that from their person.
No,
Stay
what I'm
together for 30 years, don't get married, but don't be expecting me to be your private dancer, your financer, because that only comes with marriage.
I'm saying what it is that when you have that one man, one woman, that monogamous marriage, and y'all in each other faces constantly, and y'all start to feel like the commitment is trapping y'all. I think that sometimes the psychology of feeling like you're forced to do something makes it more pressure than if you feel like, you know what, wouldn't nobody shit on me or nobody have a problem if me and her fall out because we was just going together for 9 years. But if we was married for 9 years, like I really judge Al and Tipper Gore for trying to get a divorce after 40 fucking years of marriage. Just write that out, fam. Y'all was married for 40 years. Now y'all talking about that is the silliest thing in the world that y'all was married for 40 years. And then y'all talk about going in front of the judge. The judge should have denied that. That's ignorant. Y'all need to go ahead and run through the tape.
we we don't know they was married on paper for 40 years. We don't
They
know what they was going
stay
through.
on paper. That's another thing. So many people doing swinging and dipping and diving and all this other crazy shit nowadays. It's so much that's accepted that's not traditional from a man woman marriage dynamic. It's not traditional where women are staying, going to work and dudes are staying home. So many things are all over the place. The gays, don't let me get to talking about the gays because that's a whole nother hustle. But the fact is,
Why you gotta say it like that
the fact,
though?
Whoa, time out, time out. That's our time for the day, but stay tuned for the conclusion of this episode.
I get some mind right, yeah. I get some mind right, yeah.
Oh, you're welcome.